How's everybody doing today? This is Buster, and you're watching This Old Boot. And I've got a nice pair of boots to show you here today. But first, I want to say thank you to the Shasta Boot Company, particularly Brian and Jason and the guys over there. As you can see, they're on Bechelli Lane at 2650 Bechelli Lane here in Redding, California. And if you need anything footwear related and work boot related, they've got all different kinds. They've got the P&W brands. Give them a call. Ask for Brian or Jason or Anna. You can see there. They're the owners and they're great people. They've let me use these boots to make this review, so I hope you enjoy. Today I've got the Red Wing 10875's. These are the work version of the 0875 Classic Mock Toe. And the differences in these, there are a few. Here we go, look at this, they're so pretty. They both have the traction tread bottom on them. And they're both 6 inches tall, made out of SB Foot tannery. Now they have their own tannery and they're vertically integrated, so they have their own leather that they produce, and then they make their own boots. And I just think that's fantastic. Now, the other difference is this one is a Oro Ignigal color, I believe that's how you say it, versus Oro Legacy. And also there's some kind of electrical hazard control in here. That's what it says on the website. I'm not even sure what that means. I'm not going to get too crazy about that kind of stuff. I'm just going to kind of give you the layman's terms on what I think of these boots, this being a good unboxing here. And also these have, versus the 0875s, these 10875s have what I believe these are nickel eyelets instead of brass eyelets like the 0875s. And also, and I really like this feature, it says right here embossed, it says Red Wing shoes. I kind of wish it said Red Wing boots, but that's okay. As you can see, these are the classic 6-inch mock toes. Both the 10875 and the 0875 feature a 360-degree welt. Look how nice that is. No stitches out of line. Just great boots. I believe this is on the 23 last. The Red Wing Iron Rangers are on the number 8 last. And these are really comfortable. Now, when I got mine, I had them before, so I knew that they have to be almost too tight, almost feeling like you made a mistake at first. And then they stretch out immediately. Immensely. They if you get them where they're nice and comfortable at first, the chances are they're going to be too, in my experience, they're going to be too wide later on. But I digress. Some people love them like that, and they just don't tighten them up. See, I tighten mine up, but these are nice and soft leather. Now, they take a lot of break-in, and I have a bunch of P&W boots, but I can tell you that the Iron Rangers and these took a good amount of break-in, and they're no joke. And they're American-made. They've got a non-removable leather footbed that you can see in here if I show you, if I can pull these out. Slightly loosen them up. They're nice and gusseted almost all the way up. So this is a great boot. I mean, it's not waterproof, but it's pretty water resistant. You know, I mean, the water will get through, but it takes quite a bit. Sorry about that. But you can see in there, that's just a hard leather insole. And don't have a good light to show you, but boy, when it molds to your foot, it's for real. The hype is real on these boots that I call boots that have the thing, and that thing being a leather insole that's non-removable that forms to the shape of your foot. Most of all the P&W boots have them. A lot of the Heritage from Red Wing have them. There's a lot of other boots that have that. I really like them. I've got a pair of Jim Green Baobab boots that have that. I'm breaking those in right now. Those are pretty nice. But you can see they have the leather. This is a full leather boot with a leather welt. Some of the Thorogood boots, I think they have a synthetic welt, which is fine. I prefer leather, but there's a synthetic. But those are some pretty good boots, too, that people love. I'm going to try those. Most of my reviews, if you've been watching, are reviews of boots that have had hundreds of hours of use on them. And that way I can tell you what they're like after that. That's a good review to me. But I'm also going to do these unboxings because I plan on giving them a good review with hundreds of hours at some point. But you can see here they're triple stitched and they're waxed. The thread goes through a wax, I believe, before it gets stitched in here. So that's really cool, and that kind of helps waterproof it and hold it in place nicely, and it looks good too. But they're triple stitched here. This here is an actual mock toe, where this piece right here and this piece are two separate pieces pinched together and sewn. You can almost see, where they come together right there. I believe the Thoroughgoods aren't. I think it's all one piece, and this is just pinched up and then sewn around and made a bead right here. I used to not think that was a good idea until I was watching Roseanneville, and he was saying the same thing. But then he kind of changed his mind and said that he believes. Sorry, I'm looking at my little dog here who was scratching himself. I didn't know what he was doing. He's my 3-pound monster, Silver Yorkie Rocket. Say hi, baby. He's 14 years old. Anyway, I digress again. These two-piece ones here I thought was better than the single piece just pinched up and made a bead right there. But as Roseanneville said, that is probably more waterproof because there's no slice right here. There's no pieces coming together where water can get through, even though there is a liner on the inside. So it would kind of help that. It must be less waterproof than a single piece, in my opinion. Anyway, this piece right here is all single piece, but on the inside, there's a heel counter there, and then the backstay is one long piece sewn on instead of just a piece right here, and then a piece under it, like on some of the other boots. Anyway, these ones come with these standard laces here, these, these typical boot laces with this color, and I'm colorblind. I don't know what color it is, but I know that I see this color or this style a lot on boots. So I've put leather ones in my other ones just because I don't wear them to work anymore. I did a lot, but you can see these are full leather. They're fully unlined. They're just single piece. I really like that. You can see the inside there is the inside of the leather, and then the smooth side of the leather. So it's rough out would be this on the outside and this on the inside, but these are smooth out. And I believe they're actually full grain leather. These are truly full grain, I think. I don't see any sanding marks or anything where you could see the lines when you rub your finger on them. Also, the 10875 and the 10875 are supposed to have this leather that shows blemishes, and you can kind of see them on here. There are things all over the place, little bites and marks and little bruises and things. I just think that's so cool they don't remove those. They try to get them as clean as they can from the hide and find the best cattle to do it, but I think it's so neat that they leave some of that on there, man. It just adds character. These both, the 10875 and the 10875, both patina really well. They're an oiled leather. And they got this little roll at the top here, which on my pair had a little tiny stitch missing just right here on one of these, but it never got any worse. So that's the new ones. And let me show you what mine look like. I had mine done. And I want to say again, by the way, thank you to Shasta Boot Company. Thank you to Brian over there for letting me show these boots here. And let me show you my pair. These are about 1 year old. As I said, I destroyed the first sole in about a month and a half. They don't have a midsole. I should have mentioned that and shown that on the other ones, but you can look back if you want in the video. But these were sent to Trenton and Heath over at Potter and Sons. They were going to do a video on these, so they did this to me for free. They left a little message on one of their videos. If you have old Red Wings, show us a picture, and email us a picture, and we'll see if we want to do a video. So I sent them these because I absolutely beat the snot out of mine only after about a month and a half. And I'll tell you what, they were pretty bad, as you can see. I've not worn them to work since, but they didn't look like this, although I did have a kiltie, but it was an Oro Ignigal, Oro Ignigal, I believe is the color of these, the ones that I showed you over there in the box. That's what these used to be. But I oiled them a few times, and then I sent them off to Trenton and Heath. And I also had iron laces in mine because I run those in all of my boots. But they did their thing with them. And let me tell you, this right here, I don't know if you can see this or if this comes through. Let me add a little bit of zoom to it. This, in my opinion, is peak patina. I mean, just look at the colors here. These things, maybe there are better patinas. I'm sure there are, but I just haven't seen them. This, to me, is some of the best that I've ever seen. I wear these now, but not very often. They put a Vibram 100 sole on there, as you can see, a unit sole. I think it's the Montagna or something like that. I think it's a Vibram 100. They also put this natural full leather midsole, which I really like, but this way I got to keep my molded insole. You can see in there, that's just all worn down and perfect. It's just perfectly my shape. But they put this really cool kiltie in here. I wore kilties on mine, but they were no-show. They put this saw blade one in here. Well, this one's a little bit fatter, and it appears to be bison, I think. I don't know. It's nice, though. But then they put these leather laces in here, which are kind of the color of the original ones that were nylon. I think they're nylon. But you can barely see the embossment in these anymore, but it's there. I'll tell you what, these are the most comfortable, most form-fitting boots that I've got, including all of my Pacific Northwest boots, which I very much like. It's just that these ones maybe I have a few that are this worn in, but these are just the ultimate in fit. And my God, they're only like $290 or something like that. And these are fantastic. These are genuinely good work boots for me, and I work pretty hard. You can see they put a 360-degree Goodyear leather welt back on them, and they shined them up pretty good. I believe they used a sapphire cream. I'm not sure, but just look at that patina. In my opinion, as I said, that is the best patina I've ever seen. I want to know in the comments what you guys think, and whether or not you like these kilties, and what do you guys think these look like? What is your opinion on them? I also do this, when I have leather ones, I do this square knot here. It's just, you can see on one side it looks like this, and then the other side's a direct mirror image. See? Of the top. So it's really nice to do that. And these kind of knots, if you look, I can show you right here. They literally just come right untied. You can tie them up nice and tight, but I just lace them up, do this here, then I go the other way, and they just tie right up, and they just come undone. And they don't come untied unless you want them to, but it's very easy to. Now these are, quite old. I only wore them a little bit, very worn in anyway, not that old, but very worn in, and they're still nice and hard on the toes there, but you can see the mushroom over here that I have sticking over. It's they have really mushroomed out. No, these are a D model, a D width, but look, look at that. I'm telling you, they stretch right out, man. If you look at that, if you get them too wide, this right here is just going to come together, and you're not going to be able to tighten them enough. Anyway, that's my boots. As I say, here's the other one. Let me just show you its condition. I would love to see your guys' opinion on the patina, as I said, and I would love to see your guys' boots if you have patina like this, or if you know of any. Tell me in the comments where I can find some, because I just think this is so cool. And I have seen the Patina Project, the YouTube channel, and I am gonna enter a pair of boots into the Stitch Down Thunderdome. Maybe you guys can tell me what kind I can get. I'm real serious about that. I would love to get a pair that you guys choose that would fit me, and I'll wear them to work, and wear them just as hard as I do them all, and then have them nicely cleaned up and maybe resold and enter them in, man. I'd love to take those pictures and do it with you guys. So anyway, thank you for watching this old boot. I'm Buster. I really appreciate it, you guys. And once again, thank you to the Shasta Boot Company and Brian and Anna Faye. 2650 Bechelli Lane, Redding, California, 96002. Give them a call or a shout. There's their phone number for all of your footwear needs. If you have any work boot needs or to do any repairs, these guys are fantastic. I've had many a job done over there. I've bought many a boot over there. again, Shasta Boot Company, Brian and NFA. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Love you all. Take care.